Here we go. Hello and welcome to the Tifo Football Podcast. I'm Joe Devine, and today I'm delighted to be joined by JJ Bull.
Hello.
Kaya Kaynak.
I'm not fine, Joe.
And John Mackenzie.
Hello, Joe.
Now, we've just finished watching Argentina take apart England in the last, 40 minutes of that game there, winning 2-1 in the World Cup semi-finals. Incidentally, we did a Athletic FC watch-along for that game. There's just one watch-along left. It's on Sunday for the final. So join us on the Athletic FC YouTube channel if you would like to be part of that. What do we talk about on today's show? Well, we talk about Argentina beating England to make the final of the World Cup. We play a Rondo. That one's going to be fun. We look ahead to Sunday to see how Argentina and Spain will face off against each other. Look forward to that section. I'll be checking out at that point. And also, we have checking back in for this, we have the penultimate installment of the second-hand eBay challenge game. Yes, can you have a game that's also a challenge?
Yes.
Yes, you can. And we do a final check-in on points are bad as well before we wrap up for the episode today. Did I miss anything?
No, I didn't even put on my Argentina top.
No, that's true. You've kept your Spain top on.
Yep.
Which is it's kind of a sense of camaraderie in that, isn't there?
Well, no.
Yeah.
It's for you.
Thanks, man. Thanks. All right, well, later, someone will add music to this pause. Yes, England won. 2 Argentina. Oh, the pain. Argentina produced another stunning comeback to reach a second successive World Cup final. Anthony Gordon of England opened the scoring, but the world champions once again dragged themselves back from the brink. First, Enzo Fernandez beat Jordan Pickford from distance. Then Lautaro Martinez struck in a stoppage time goal from beautiful right-footed Messi cross to complete another famous victory. Argentina will face Spain in Sunday's final as they seek to become only the third nation to retain the World Cup. Quick guessing game. Who were the other two?
Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil was one of them.
Italy.
And I don't know if Italy was.
They were.
Was it?
In the 30s.
They won it in 34 and 38?
They did.
How about that? There you go. Good knowledge here. Now, England have reached the semi-final stage for the fourth time. Much of the post-match conversation is likely, I think, to be focused on the different ways that the two managers impacted the game in-game. And that's indeed where we're going to start. Kaya, I'll come to you first to talk about this. You were very upset during the game at Tuchel's changes and also the way that England's shape changed during the game as well, aside from the substitutions. What's the story there, would you say?
So the other day, I was in a car in the passenger seat with someone. I won't say who it was, but we got kind of close to
Was
the
it
traffic
Thomas
lights.
Tuchel?
It may as well have been. We got close to the traffic lights and the light was red. And when you're about, I don't know, maybe a decent distance from the traffic lights, I was sort of like, okay, they're gonna slow down. They didn't slow down. They kept sort of going and going. And I was sort of like, do I bring this up in conversation? I don't want to be a backseat driver. I don't want to say anything. I'm just going to let them.
Mm-hmm.
They got closer to the red light and closer to the red light to the point where eventually they went through the red light. And I'm thinking, at what point do I start screaming here and saying, this is madness, you have to stop?
Thomas Tuchel!
This is exactly how I felt watching England this evening.
I think you should have mentioned it earlier.
You know what?
Sorry, just to be clear, did your friend drive through the red light?
They did.
Did they notice the red light?
They did not notice until
They
I sort of
noticed
quite
the red light.
timidly was like, there's a red light there.
Wow.
Did you sail through past flashing cars in either?
Thankfully,
Pretty sure that's not into your microphone at all, John. Just one more time.
Sorry. Did you fly through?
we weren't. Well, we were going. Listen, we went with the speed limit. That's the most important thing there. But we didn't fly through. We were fine, thankfully. We got away with it. But it was.
Thank God.
England didn't
You
get
can't
away
just
with
drop
it.
an anecdote like that and expect it to be an analogy
Well, I'm
without us
here.
wanting to follow up more on the car.
No, that's
situation.
fine. That's fine. I'm
Now,
here
did
to
your
tell
friend
the tale.
receive a ticket for this incident?
I'm not aware. I haven't
coming.
heard of anything.
It's
but
in the post.
It could be. It could
Yeah.
be. It was. Yeah. Anyway.
Maybe if you drive
more
through
details.
as though you belong there,
Yeah.
get away with it.
Yeah.
The analogy here, presumably, is that Thomas Tuchel did not slow down for a red light.
No.
Or in fact, he slowed
sped
down when it was green.
straight through the red light.
I think maybe the inverse of this analogy works better.
Yeah.
Yeah? He
Maybe.
stopped at a green light.
He rammed on the handbrake at the green light because
Yeah.
England had gone 1-0 up through Anthony Gordon, which is a great finish actually by Anthony Gordon. Underrated finish in the sense that it's quite high up.
Yeah.
Martinez has dived across the goal quite well. There's not actually that much of the goal to aim for.
Not a tap in.
Not a tap in. And we were all, well, you and I in this room, John was in the tactics cupboard, were buzzing because England had taken the lead and they had started the second half, I think, pretty well. They kind of had spells where they were dominating the ball on the edge of the Argentinian box and forcing Argentina back in a way they hadn't been able to in the first half. And you're thinking, right, this is great. England are 1-0 up.
They weren't necessarily the better team, but they weren't the worst team.
No, it was pretty even. And yeah, they may be shading it at that point. Then Argentina start to come forward and you get a bit nervous and they start putting balls in the box, but you think, don't worry, it's fine.
My friend's going to slow down.
There's a hydration break coming up.
Yeah.
The hydration break comes. You think, okay, well, England have sat deep. Maybe Thomas Tuchel can make a change, like bringing on an attacking player to help England get up the pitch. Ezri Konsa comes onto the pitch. England go to essentially a
5-3-2 they seem to go to at that stage.
Exactly.
And it was Anthony Gordon, the goal scorer, that comes off there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It goes against everything that Thomas Tuchel and Anthony Barry have been saying in their press conferences and media appearances so far. They've been saying we want to be protagonists, we want to be front-footed. None of that. England sit deeper. Argentina come on further. The game ticks on, and you're starting to white-knuckle at this point, and you're thinking, how on earth can England sustain this? Don't worry, they've still got 4 subs left. Another sub comes. You think it could be an attacker. It's Dan Burn. England have now gone to a back 5 with Ezri Konsa as the right wing back.
Yeah.
And Jed Spence
later
playing as
proved
the
to be
left
a
wing
huge
back.
problem.
Massive problem.
When it was 1-1 or 2-1 and England were trying to get back into the game,
Yeah.
when Ezri Konsa was the wing back and, bless him, didn't have much of a cross on him.
Yeah. And then, I'm making sure I got the timings right. So Nico O'Reilly had also come on in midfield. So England essentially at that point had 6 defenders, 3 midfielders, and Harry Kane up front on his own.
Yeah.
And bless Harry Kane, he's not a guy who's going to be able to kind of run the ball up the pitch like that. England was sitting deep and deep and deep. Eventually they concede the goal. Enzo Fernandez with a shot from the edge of the box, which had been coming for a long time. I think he'd had 4 or 5 shots on the edge of the box by that point, and
it was also the 3rd time, I think maybe the 4th time that Messi had done the same corner routine.
Exactly.
It hadn't worked to fruition by that point, but there was so much space. And Enzo Fernandez won the corner with a similar shot from distance.
Exactly.
So a shot across the bow moments before.
The red light was bright.
Yeah.
And
when the game continued after 5 minutes of him celebrating.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. He celebrated for so long. Guess what? Thomas Tuchel's got 2 subs left. There's time to change this.
Yeah.
Just after that, John Stones goes down with a head injury. It's another 2-minute stoppage to the game. There's time to change this. Does he change it? No. England concede again through Lautaro Martinez. A nice header, but the kind of header that you shouldn't be getting any space in the box when England have 6 centre-backs on the pitch. I think it's 6, maybe 5 centre-backs on the pitch at that point. There should not be any space in the box for the shot on the edge of the box that Enzo Fernandez got. I know it's from a corner, but there shouldn't be that kind of space. There shouldn't be any space for Lautaro Martinez in the box. There still is. So the tactics look even more strange and even more bizarre. And then finally, 3 minutes after the goal, not as soon as the goal goes in, because this is the 92nd minute and England have barely any time left, Tuchel finally decides to bring on some attacking players. He brings on Marcus Rashford and Ivan Toney in the 96th minute. The game ended in the 101st. So there's, nothing either could have done. I don't think
unclear whether Ivan Toney made a touch, right?
No.
Yeah.
And let me just list through the attacking players who Thomas Tuchel chose to leave on the bench. So Eberechi Eze, Noni Madueke, Ollie Watkins, Bukayo Saka.
Yeah.
Bukayo Saka's been dealing with injury, and I don't think any of those 4 players necessarily are players who win you the game, but they get you up the pitch. They get you out of the position that England were in, where they were essentially trying to white-knuckle it from 55 minutes into the game against the team who are probably the best team in maybe even World Cup history at late comebacks.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Well, against a team who've just beat a number of teams doing this.
Exactly that. I think producer Jamie will be able to tell me, they said on the commentary, we saw it, that Argentina have scored 8 goals in this World Cup after the 75th minute.
Yeah.
So to try and lean into their strength, essentially, is crazy. It was sort of self-inflicted chaos for England, and they lent into it, and it's what lost them the game. And they deserved to lose, in my opinion, because they didn't try to win it from the second they went 1-0 up.
Yeah.
I think the weirdest thing about it as well for me is that they were only 1-0 up. So if you then set your team up to like block out for the last 10 minutes, as they ended up doing, if that game goes to extra time, they now have a team with, as you say, like 5 centre-backs on the pitch, essentially, and very little way of getting out. And so you're just inviting like another 30 minutes of presumably just allowing Argentina to kind of get up the pitch and break you down. So it felt very sort of white flaggy to me, in a strange way.
JJ, Tuchel got it wrong?
Yes. Well, I mean, there are no doubts about that whatsoever. Interesting what the player said after, like Harry Kane saying how when they went 1-0 up, they just seemed to they were told to keep going and keep going. Like in the second half, like clearly Tuchel talked to them and said, like, go direct. You know, Anthony Barry's talking at half time. He's saying, no, we want to be fit, Premier League, use our Premier League physicality and get forward, and that's what will get us through. And sure enough, that the goal comes from them getting the ball, like Harry Kane's dropping into near the defence to pick the ball up, pinging it long, like a long ball, traditional trad English play, over the top, chases it down, it bounces loose, they win it, and then Gordon sneaks in, great finish. Yeah. And that's the goal, right? So that's
lovely cross from Morgan Rogers.
Sort of worked. Moments later, because they're doing the same thing, paying it long, Kane almost gets in behind. There's no one behind him to drop it. So you're like, oh, this is working. And then Argentina goes straight up the other end. Simeone almost scores. Jed Spence does a hero slide tackle. So he's opened it up. By doing that, you're opening it up to this sort of thing. Argentina, like, every team wants you to open up so you can try and get through them. Like, the trouble they had in other games was they had to break down these blocks and they couldn't do it. And they were scoring like corners, doing the set piece routines that Messi's been doing today. And so that's the kind of thing they had to deal with. But also the other thing that Argentina have been doing is the other teams drop into into blocks naturally over time, and they've won every single one of them by eventually breaking them down. So perhaps shortening the amount of time that you have to deal with that is a good idea.
Well, the commentary team also, the post-match team on the BBC made the comparison to how Spain managed the game against France.
Yeah.
When Spain went ahead, which was to do the opposite of what
we talked about this on the stream yesterday as well, right? When Spain went a goal up, they didn't change the way they were playing. They carried on playing that way, despite the fact that it was, it's a more risky way of playing because you leave yourself open. But
this is the other thing. So, like, I find this really interesting because it sounds like the players were told to keep going. And but they couldn't quite get hold of it. Kane says they couldn't seem to quite press them the way they wanted to. They couldn't keep holding them. And Argentina just pushed up. But if you watch, I just watched some of the second half back, and like Argentina did push up really high from the start. And that's how they were able to go long, because they're winning it and they could ping it long.
Yeah.
So they were starting to squeeze them already anyway. And the thing is, like, they were getting pushed back. They're 1-0 up. Suddenly, this is when your real mentality comes through. Tuchel wants him to play in a certain way. Behave like you are superior. There's no inferiority thing here. But what if they just can't do that? I've watched all the teams I support in years gone by do exactly the same thing, where you're told by the manager. I know the managers have told them not to do this. They do it anyway. They naturally fall into it. The circumstance of the game, the atmosphere, everything. It's impossible to say what it's like. Pushes them further and further back. But like Wayne Rooney says, when you're a player on that pitch, he said this after the game, he says, like, if you're a player on that pitch and you're constantly falling back like this, and then he starts making the substitutions that he does, which is accepting their fate, then you start thinking, how long are we going to be in this for? It's roughly, I'm paraphrasing what Rooney said, and that's what Kaya is talking about. So you bring on all the big lads at the back.
At the hydration break as well, which is the same moment that Tuchel presumably is telling the players something as well, right?
Honestly, I think the only person in the entire stadium/world who doesn't think he made a mistake is Thomas Tuchel at that point. Or maybe he does. So this is the thing, I'm not trying to defend him for the choices, but I think he's not here to defend himself and say why. But there's every chance that he just saw this is what's happening, and so inevitably he has the same feeling. He's watched 1,000 million games. He's like, right, I'll help them out by putting on some more defenders. But the front line, like Bellingham and Kane, just looked done. They were completely goosed, like nothing left, empty stamina bars. The brave decision would be to take them off and put on other players who could run. The wise decision would be to have kept them with 2 blocks of 4 and organised for the rest of the game. Because you see at the very end when the score, in fact, even the first goal, the Argentina score, like, they're disorganised. They're not, it's from a set piece as well, but no one's where they should be. There should be a row blocking, there should be other guys at the back doing man marking and whatever they're doing from your things. But you see the players come on and they go over to different players and say, oh, you're over here now and I'm over here now.
Yeah.
Like, just have the organisation.
You don't really see it in a Premier League game. You see it in the domestic game, but maybe in late in the Champions League or in a cup game where the stakes are really high. It's just not the sort of thing you expect to see from a league game.
Well, interestingly, I was just looking at some of the numbers there, and it's England finished that game with 36% possession, Argentina 64%, and just not trying to have a dig at Arsenal at all here, but it's very much like they're leading into the Premier League physicality and all that sort of stuff. They've done exactly what Arsenal did in the Champions League. When they come up against a team who can play against them, it doesn't work. Yeah. And so this has been the story for 20, 30 years. I remember back in the day when English teams would play against teams from abroad, and then they would just be like, oh, well, maybe we should learn to play like them. Like, England had good players, but they ran out of energy. They couldn't do what they wanted to do. Whether it's mentality, and I don't mean they got through these games with great courage, determination, like very admirable how England managed to get their way through there. But this is what happens. Like, they should have been pushing them to go forward, but they couldn't do it because they didn't have players who could do it. Like, it's a little bit like the manager completely tied their hands behind their back so they couldn't try and attack them, but also they started to do it anyway. So it's complicated.
On that Arsenal comparison, it's very fair and valid.
I knew
I'm not trying to wind you up.
I know you're not.
I've been told not to wind people up today.
I'm saying Arsenal's strength is not their attackers, right? Their attackers are nowhere near as good as their defenders. England's strength is their attacking players. Their attacking players are brilliant.
But
they've got so many good attacking players. Their defenders individually are not good. That's why everyone going into this tournament was saying the way England win is by going out and attacking teams, not by sitting back and defending.
But look at the circumstances. Like, Saka, why didn't come on? I can only assume that's because of injury. I can only assume that. Yeah. Madueke was absolutely useless in most of the games. Didn't get on. I get it, right? Rashford come on too late, but maybe he wasn't the right one. And also they have to worry about these constant attacks down the side. Yep. So maybe he's not the right one for it. And also Kane and Bellingham, like I said, by the end, Kane had started dropping towards the defence, so he couldn't get on the ball. Mm-hmm. Bellingham just had nothing left in the stamina bar. Yeah. So if you've ever played a video game at all, you'll know that the players aren't very good, and that's real life as well. Yeah. So this is what they're trying to deal with. Roger was still going towards the end, but they're just knackers, and you can't they'd spent everything getting to where they were.
I think it's worth saying as well, I don't think this is necessarily even a personnel issue. I think that they defended badly in a low block.
Yeah.
And, you can defend in a low block, and there is risk attached to that because, for example, in the first half, Argentina just weren't able to progress the ball well enough. They didn't get into dangerous goal-scoring situations. There was barely any chances in the first half. As soon as England sit back, they're just basically saying to Argentina, you can get forward.
Yeah.
You can progress the ball forward and then try and break us down. Now,
they've got Messi.
I don't like that as a general approach or principle because, you're making the game for the opponent much easier. But even if you are doing that, you can make sure that you are doing the principles of box defending well. Which they didn't do. They didn't do for either of the goals. And the first goal, they get too compact. No one is jumping out. Jude Bellingham makes a good effort at getting out, but there should be players in front of that already recognising when Kane's gone across, that space is opened out. As you said, they've just had a shot from that area.
Do you not think also, though, that sometimes this can happen when you have so many centre-backs on the pitch that they don't really know where they're supposed to be?
Yeah. I think also the negative attitude means that you get it into your head, oh, well, we've got to sit, we've got to
stand on the goal
deep.
line.
Yeah, right. And I think, again, when you do that box defending and low block defending, you've got to be brave. You've got to get out to the edge of the box to make sure that you're not just giving them those chances.
Which, for the second goal, we can give some credit to Jed Spence, who, seemed to hurt his foot while tackling Messi. There were two players on Messi. They had an overload on him on the edge of the box. Messi put a cross in with his right foot.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
It's
what are you supposed to do?
Absolutely crazy. But having said that, Lautaro Martinez finds himself in just an unbelievable amount of space in the middle when there are so many.
He's equidistant between two defenders,
Stones and Konza,
and you can say. England and outside of the box have done everything right there, right? They've shown Messi onto his weaker foot. They've shown him to the byline. It's kind of okay, fine. You get into that situation. You say, if you pull out an incredible cross, then you've pulled out an incredible cross. Fair play.
But they should still be able to defend what happens.
Absolutely. And again, even just the playing Konsa as a fullback there, you almost have him not behaving like a fullback defensively as well. And I think that kind of issue exists when you just load your back line with centre backs. I think that's the disappointing aspect of this. I think that England team should easily be able to box defend. They've had their hands tied a little bit by their coach bringing on certain players, and I think it felt a bit belts and braces by that point, where it's just throw on all of the big, and they threw on Nico O'Reilly, they threw on Dan Burn, because before that drinks break, essentially what happens is there's one of those chances. Is it the Nico Gonzalez header where Pickford gets down low for the save? Yeah. So they've conceded about 3 of those chances within the 10 minutes preceding, when they've already started dropping back. And I think what Tuchel is doing there is saying, okay, all they're going to do is cross the ball into the box. So if we bring on taller players, we're going to be much better suited to defend that. But the downside of that comes from the fact is that you can't just load your box full of tall players and expect that the tactical structures to retain the sort of solidity that you want them to there as well. So yeah, I think it's just asking for trouble to defend like that, and
for so long as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
the only place you should ask for trouble is at a Coldplay gig.
That's true. That's true.
Hey, well, I mean, I suppose if Thomas Tuchel's substitutions were pooping in the bed, then Scaloni's substitutions were spraying the bed with perfume, popping one of those delicious little chocolates on the pillow. I mean, his in-game management, JJ's kind of been talking about this throughout the tournament, has been fantastic. It was particularly good today, John, right?
Yeah.
For every bad substitute Thomas Tuchel made, Scaloni made it amazing.
He had one of those towel swans on the bed.
He had a towel swan, yes, an origami towel swan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, all praise to Scaloni, but like he's done this in the last few games.
Yeah.
They have played against low blocks in their last few games. And we've talked all the tournament about how they have set up generally to play narrow, to get the connections between the players, to have good access to one another in possession. We saw a bit of that today at times, but what we've seen at the end of games is, if you're coming up against these low blocks, you can't break through those blocks with just with this sort of nice associative play, and so what they've had to do is bring on those wider players. I think they started this game with a wider player in Simeone anyway, so it was clear that they were changing their play style from the off in this one. But then at the end of the game, we saw the same things that they've done in previous games. We saw Nico Gonzalez being brought on. We saw them going to that 3-1-6 formation and then getting those crosses in from wide.
I thought Montiel was great when he came.
Yeah, exactly. And the substitutions are Nico Gonzalez.
In-game transfers.
In-game transfers. They brought in from the bench for a sum of 64 minutes.
Yeah.
Nico Gonzalez on for Leandro Paredes, and then a few minutes later, De Paul on for Simeone, and then they brought on Montiel for Molina, who's maybe a bit more of a he's fresher at this point anyway, but has the ability to overlap and cause a little bit more of a problem in those wide areas.
Yeah. They also took off the players that were most likely to be given second yellow cards or red cards. So
Lisandro Martinez off for Otamendi.
Sure.
And at that point as well, I guess, yes, you're worried about the transition threat, but I think you're kind of thinking we don't need Lisandro Martinez's progressive passing from deep, so we can just put someone like Nicolas Otamendi on there. Is that his name?
Yeah. Otamendi, Nicolas Otamendi, yeah, it's one of those.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then in the 81st minute, they brought on Lautaro Martinez as again, another option for
Tagliafico, who you didn't need anymore because Ezri Konsa was the right wing back.
Yeah, right, exactly. They've just accepted that, however football evolves, at some point, if you're playing against a low block, you need to get players in the box who can score.
Yeah.
You have to have good access to players in the wide areas. You have to have players in the wide areas who can go 1v1 against fullbacks or wing backs, and you have to have guys who can cross the ball into the box. That's the long and short of it. And in that respect, it's all praise to Scaloni for just saying, we know what the situation requires. We're just going to go out there and do it. And I guess the disappointment is that we've seen this happen in the last few games, and Tuchel didn't seem to think that was therefore an issue. But.
Yeah. JJ, Lionel Messi had another amazing game. I mean, it was magical to watch him today, even against the team I wanted to win. He was instrumental in both goals. I mean, is there a more fitting tribute to a player of his caliber to be member of one of only the third teams to retain the World Cup?
Yeah, what's that? Is his third final it'll be?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he's lost one. I mean, there's things he did all through that game where, I mean, it's not nice to think that there is a world in which I don't get to watch Lionel Messi play football, because I've enjoyed watching him. Like, I go out my way to watch games that he's playing and that I would never care to watch. Mm-hmm. It's just like he's a little magic thing that shouldn't really exist. And so there's little moments when he has the ball. There's one that stood out, which you just wouldn't think of him, because he looks small and you think of him as like a little creative like thing you'd find living in your garden. You're like, oh, give me some wishes, please.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you got two massive England players trying to tackle him. I think it was Elliot Anderson was one, and another big lad.
He had Bellingham on him quite a lot.
Well, this particular moment, there was like two players in the middle of the pitch, bounce like they go into him and they just bounce off him.
Oh, yeah.
And you're thinking, how is he?
Yeah.
He shouldn't be able to
At
do that.
39 years old as well. That's the
Man, he's
tragic
so
thing about
strong. Like he's deceptively strong, deceptively quick. I've watched him play so many games, and I still don't realize how quick he is, how strong he is, how balanced he is. Like it nips past people. You know exactly what he's going to do. The only person I've seen who read him really well in that game was Elliot Anderson. Read one of the times he was going to go inside. Oh, it was Morgan Rogers. Sorry. Watched him from doing it.
Yeah.
But like those, I mean, he's been instrumental, obviously, in everything they've done. They've built everything around him. Scaloni has changed tactics specifically to get him in spaces so he can do the damage, because he's a unicorn. You can win games by giving him the ball. And so all you got to do is find a way to do that. And he starts doing this thing where he's trying to fire the ball in for 1-2 and get around them. And then when he stops doing that and just moves slightly out of the way, everyone's scared of when he's going to get the ball next. And then you suddenly have space for someone else. He's it's unbelievable what he's been able to do.
His reading of space is amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's what stands out for me, is that he gets the ball and he knows where to put the ball so that the players who are around him can't get it, but he can get to that space. He does that all the time, and it blows my mind. It's almost like he thinks ahead, and he's like, well, I'll put the ball here and then they'll go here, and so then he
sees what they'll do on the other side of the box.
It's crazy.
Another weird thing is that like the accuracy with his technique and like chipping the ball to places, it's like when you're playing like a golf video game and you can point where the ball should go. You can see where the arc of it's going to be.
Yeah.
But he's doing it live, like he's a robot or something. It's incredible.
It's like playing chess against children, isn't it? You know.
Yes, I think it must be.
Unless they're child prodigies, of course.
Yeah.
In which case that could be very embarrassing for
A
everyone.
lot of grandmasters are, I think, under 18.
Are they?
Age, yeah.
Well, some of us are over 18 as well, Kaya. Not me. Now, on the flip side of the old coin there, not really the flip side of the coin, just what I'm looking for here is a segue from one thing to another.
The other side of the chess table?
What I'll do is I'll go, segue. Harry Kane, this could be Harry Kane's final World Cup, potentially. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate the irony of that just after listening to JJ praise a 39-year-old Lionel Messi. So it's possible that we'll see Harry Kane there, but it did really feel as though if Tuchel were able to bring some excitement to this England team, it could benefit Harry Kane on what's probably his final World Cup.
Yeah, he's 32 now. I think he turns 33 next week, if not the week after.
Right.
So
happy birthday.
His birthday's the day before mine, so...
Really?
Yeah, I sort of steal a bit of Harry Kane's limelight there.
Also, happy birthday to you.
Thanes, man.
Mm-hmm. But mainly Harry Kane.
I think some people in the audience would like that. But
we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But yeah, England are kind of at a crossroads in the World Cup sense, because Harry Kane has been the best England World Cup player, I think, probably ever. Jude Bellingham's pushing him close and probably will overtake him.
Sure.
But
certainly, right?
Yeah.
How old is he? 22?
Something like that, 22, 23.
So he'll be 26 next time round.
Yes. Let's say yes.
Got to qualify first.
That's true. In the 64-team World Cup, most likely. But
that's true. Imagine if England don't qualify for a 64.
That would be
definitely
bad.
My last World Cup.
That would be bad.
I'm not doing a 64 World.
Tuchel would have
World
to
Cup.
go if that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, England don't have an obvious successor waiting in the wings and haven't done for a long time. Ollie Watkins is a good player, but he's, I think, 30, if not nearly 30. Ivan Toney has come out of nowhere from the Saudi League to be included in this squad. Beyond that, you're looking at Danny Welbeck, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. There's other ones who I'm sure I'm forgetting, but there's not an obvious successor to England's number 9. And going into this tournament, England's whole tactics were built around getting the best out of Harry Kane. The whole squad selection, all the conversations we had, like should they bring Palmer, should they bring Foden, all those things were, well, those players wouldn't get the best out of Harry Kane in the way Thomas Tuchel thinks the squad would get the best out of Harry Kane.
Yeah.
And yeah, it feels like England have kind of wasted his last World Cup with these tactics.
Nah, you
not wasted.
But I think they could have got to the final. And
of course, but like,
listen, I think I have on this. For years, Gareth Southgate was criticised for these exact tactics.
Agree.
So I mentioned on the live stream, Croatia 2018, England went in front early. They then tried to white knuckle it for I think about 80 minutes, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Disaster. Was never going to work.
Sure.
In Italy, it's true. Against Italy in the Euros final, they tried to do the same thing. It was never going to work. Mm-hmm. And the whole of Euro 2024, they kind of tried to defend their way to the final, and it it didn't work.
I agree, it didn't work.
But these are the tactics that Southgate basically got hounded out of the England job, despite being England's most successful manager since Alf Ramsey.
I love Gareth Southgate.
I think he was great, but people hounded him out of the job because he was deemed too defensive or not tactically sophisticated.
Sure.
Again, was he doing that because, did he want the players to be doing that, or did they just naturally do it? Maybe it's just a thing that
he wanted them to do. He talked openly about it many times. He talked about basing England's
defense
strategy
wins
on
titles.
Tuchel didn't want them to do it, and they started doing it.
No, of course, but maybe that's because they did it for 8 years. The only thing I push back on at all is the notion of wasting. I think
they have. I think they've wasted Harry Kane's last chance at a World Cup. I genuinely think this was a really good chance for England to get to the final.
They got there without him anyway, so
they got there without him.
They might not have got there without him in the first place. So without him, they couldn't have wasted it because they wouldn't have been there in the first place.
All I'm saying is when you get to the semi-finals of a World Cup, or indeed any kind of knockout tournament like this, stuff just happens.
Maybe we can agree to disagree, but I think this was listen, Argentina are a very, very good team and they deserve to win tonight. But it was
rubbish. I hate them.
Well, it was a winnable game for England.
I hate them.
They could.
I hate them.
Yeah, different tactics. I think England could have won this game, and I think a lot of that falls on Thomas Tuchel. I'll say it again. I think he's wasted Harry Kane's last chance to win a World Cup.
I don't think there's enough conversation about what
the referee. I agree. We should talk about the referee.
But the extra game as well, right? I think
extra game. Yeah, that was like playing the final right there in terms of the number of games.
Yeah. So, and I think that it makes a difference. I think Harry Kane has looked less effective as the tournament has gone on.
I mean, Jude Bellingham's taken up the mantle.
Yeah, exactly. But I think when Kane was so good for like the first part of the tournament, and then as slowly, I think. Just obviously at the age he is, you can't just play that amount of games in that amount of time in the sort of conditions they're playing in.
Yeah. With
extra time and etc. And all of the travel. I think England are the team who've travelled the furthest in this tournament.
You guess who the team who travelled the least are?
Argentina. Yeah.
It's part of the FIFA conspiracy. I'm just.
But I think that all adds up, right? That sort of thing has an impact, and I think. That it's a shame for England that's been the reality. That if this was the final game, if this was the final, maybe it's a different story. But they've had to play players injured earlier on to try and get to this point, and I think it all adds up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there we go. That's Argentina through there to the final. Last thing I guess to say about it is what a lovely goal from Enzo Fernandez, huh? Yeah. Shame he was still on the pitch after thumping Elliot Henderson in the back of the neck. Remember that at the beginning? Yeah. Enzo Fernandez. What a dislikable guy. Anyway, let's take a quick break and we'll be back in a moment to play a Rondo. Oh. Yes, we're back. What a great break that was. A terrific break. We all enjoyed it. Now, let's play a rondo. And let me explain to you guys what a rondo is. I ask a question that has multiple correct answers. We go round in a circle. We give correct answers. If we give incorrect answers, we are rejected from the rondo. If we give an answer that's already been given, we're rejected from the rondo. If we're Enzo Fernandez, we are ejected from the rondo before it begins. And the final person standing is named Rondo Del Rey. Now, here we go. Of course, you guys found it very difficult yesterday. You'll remember it was difficult yesterday because we did a fixture from the past, but just the starting 11s of those teams, didn't we? So producer Ryan, in his infinite wisdom today, thought, what about if we expand that? We'll do a fixture from the past, but we'll expand it to the match day squads, so you can't go as wrong. Okay?
That's better.
Now, the fixture from this past is England versus Argentina in 1998, which of course was before Kaya was born. We all know that. 100 years before the birth of this little Gen Zer. You notice how many times he said white knuckling in the first half of the show there. Yeah. A very youthful language. Now, let's start with you because of your age, Kaya. Okay. Can you give me the name? All I need is one member of either of the World Cup matchday squads for England or Argentina in 1998 for that game.
Michael Owen.
Michael Owen is, of course, on the...
He played.
He's definitely in the matchday squad.
But why is he not in order? Hang on 1 second. Now, just one... Oh, there he is. My bad. It's been a long evening. Yes, congratulations, Kai. I remember him scoring, but when he wasn't on the list, I was tempted to ban you anyway. John?
Paul Scholes played because...
Paul Scholes.
He nearly took the ball off Michael Owen when Michael Owen scored.
That's true. JJ?
Alan Shearer.
Alan Shearer you can have. Kaya?
David Seaman.
David Seaman. Of course you can have. John?
Tony Adams.
Tony Adams. Yeah, I'll give you that. JJ?
David Beckham.
David Beckham, you can have. Absolutely. Kaya?
David Batty.
David Batty, you can have. Yes.
Can I have Darren Anderton?
You can. Oh, they're all next to each other in the list. I like that. JJ?
Ariel Ortega.
Yep. Kaya?
Diego Simeone.
Yes. Now, do you know, we're really eating into this early part of and you're doing very well.
Yeah.
Very successfully. Okay. John?
Roberto Ayala.
Roberto Ayala. Yes, correct. JJ?
Javier Zanetti.
Javier Zanetti, you can have. He was there today, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
Yes. Kaya?
Sol Campbell.
Sol Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, correct. John? Oh, finally a pause. It's been very competitive to this stage. Very competitive.
I'm going to say Pochettino, but I think he's in the following game 2 years later.
You're taking a little bit of
Batistuta.
time. What's his first name?
Gabriel.
Gabriel Batistuta. Yeah, you can have him. I need first names because I've got to find them in the alphabetical order, okay? JJ?
Has Paul Ince been said?
Well, I mean, you will have to gamble.
Paul Ince.
It has not been said. You can have him.
Yes.
Kaya?
Hernan Crespo.
Hernan Crespo. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Good.
is it?
John? Oh, John's really slow.
Graham Lasso.
Yeah, well done. I was going to say you were really slowing down, but then you found Graham LaSlow. You were really Graham slowing down there. JJ?
Gary Neville.
Gary Neville? Did he ever? Yeah, he did. Kaya?
Paul Merson.
Paul Merson? Yeah, that's the other Paul. Well done.
The England players left.
There were two Paul. Yeah, loads of England players left. Well, there's some. Matchday squad, don't forget.
Yeah.
Martin Keown.
Martin Keown, you can have, yeah. Well, I guess the downside of Matchday squad is that every answer is correct.
So
JJ?
many, yeah. Teddy Sheringham.
Teddy Sheringham, I think he's there. Yeah, he's there. Kaya?
I'm struggling a bit now. Has Tony Adams been said?
By you.
Don't
me?
help him, JJ.
Yeah, I'm not saying him then.
My goodness me.
I was one at the time. I feel I should get a bit of a...
You don't have any help. In fact, you're taking a long time. I'm going to start counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Phil Neville.
Phil Neville? Nah, Phil Neville's not there. You're out of the rondo. Okay, John? Only old people
This
left.
is a gamble.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Lee.
Rob Lee was there. Well done, yeah. JJ?
Juan Sebastian Veron.
Juan Sebastian
good.
Veron was, of course, there.
Good.
Back to you, John. Would you like a clue?
Yes.
You know all of these players. And that's why you say yes when I ask you if you want a clue.
That's not a useful clue.
I know.
I know lots of players.
Do you know any of the players on this list? The answer is yes.
Are there still England players on?
Yes. Say one of them.
Lee Dixon.
Lee Dixon was not there.
Oh.
Okay, JJ. Now, this is very rare that you win a rondo, but you've got to get one more name right in order to claim that Rondo del Rey crown. Can you give me one?
Make a big error here.
Don't make a big error.
But
Play it safe.
I think, it makes sense because of what happened in '96.
Would you like a clue?
Yes.
You know all the players as
Oh,
well.
Good. Okay. I think he's on the match day squad, but not in the team.
Mm-hmm.
Gareth Southgate.
Dum, dum. He's there.
Wow, well done. Well
There
done.
you go.
Well
A
done.
Successful.
Brilliant.
Bull Rondo. How about that?
That's very good.
Rondo del Bull.
You deserve that.
There
In
we
the
go.
'90s, I can do it.
There you go.
As soon as I'm out, I can think of like hundreds of players. I'm like, why did I not think of that?
Kanidia in there?
I fully couldn't think of another one.
There's a few that I'm just like,
Well,
I'm pretty sure.
Here's a bunch of people that you
Stuart
could have
Pearce
said.
is in there, isn't it?
Now, you know how I feel about saying names afterwards.
Pearce.
Stuart Pearce isn't in there.
isn't
No.
he? Okay.
Tim Flowers, Steve McManaman, Sergio Berti, Roberto Cezzini was there, Rio Ferdinand, Pablo Paz, Pablo Cavero, Nigel Martin was there. I'm just going to read the
Should've
England
got that
players
for
that were
Leeds.
left. Les Ferdinand
Yeah.
was the final England player remaining. Then
Ian
there
Wright
was a
wasn't
bunch
there.
of...
I was going to
Marcelo Gallardo was there, famous manager Marcelo Gallardo.
Oh.
Ian Wright?
Ian Wright wasn't in the squad, no?
Ian Wright wasn't there. How about that? Well, anyway, well done to JJ. That was another successful rondo. Let's look forward now. I say look forward. I won't look forward. Look ahead to Sunday, where Argentina will meet Spain in the final. I wonder how different this one will be, JJ, to Argentina meeting France. That was a very exciting final 4 years ago in Qatar. Argentina-Spain, I think it's going to be a tetchy affair, isn't it? What do you think about this game?
I don't know what I think about it yet. Argentina will do what they can to try and get Messi in on the ball in space to try and do the things that he can do.
Mm-hmm.
But also, Spain just won't give them the ball.
Right.
So like they had a lot of the ball today to be able to do things with it. They don't feel like individually they're particularly amazing, Argentina, but as a unit they're great.
Is your instinct that Spain will win?
I honestly don't know. I think Messi is just such a there's just something like it's constantly like a what do you call it, a spotlight on him always. So like you can do whatever he wants.
And everyone thought, to be honest, 4 years ago that France would win. Right, like I feel like Argentina were very much, second favourites in that game.
I feel like I can't remember what I thought at the time, but I really wanted Messi to win it just because it meant it would be nice thing to happen. I think it's wild that he do it again. I mean, he was meant to have retired then, wouldn't he? Back then.
I wonder what kind of cloak Donald Trump will put on him if he wins the World Cup.
The
Darth Vader cloak.
A lot of the Argentina side is still the same players 4 years later.
Yeah.
3.5 years later. So
one of those subs that came on that we didn't mention, Rodrigo de Paul, I thought he was amazing in the last 20 minutes of this game. But he was fantastic 4 years ago as well. He'll be good in the final, you would have thought.
Yeah, although, I agree with you. It just feels as though Spain are just going to control this game. And I think if you control the game against Argentina, you take a lot away from them. They probably thrive in that chaos a little bit more. I'm kind of interested to see how this one goes. But for me, it just comes down to the difference between how England played and how Spain will play. And
they won't be going long, for example.
Right. And they've been brave with the ball. And we've just made a video that's going to go out tomorrow morning where we talked about, what do you do against Spain in possession? Because if you try and go zonal against them and keep them away from your goal by being quite passive, they find ways through you. But then if you try and be proactive and step up against them man to man, then they find ways through you. So I think it's going to be really tough for a team like Argentina because, again, they effectively play with 10 men out of possession because they're carrying Messi. So I think it's definitely set up tactically for Spain to be the favourites on this one. But again, we've said this in so many of the games recently. Like
the other thing as well is like when teams try and press Spain, Spain just ping it through them, and then they can. That's how they are able to have this massive advantage against anyone who does it. Whereas because Argentina can't press, they can't do it. They only do it when they're chasing them backwards. They don't do it otherwise. It means that Spain have to try and play through that block, which everyone struggles with. Even they've come up against it a load of times in the tournament. So you end up with maybe Yamal has to try and pull something out of the hat.
I just think the difference of being able to, just even if they have 60% possession and they're up against a block, because they're not giving Argentina that much of the ball, and then the scenarios in which Argentina will receive the ball in will be so far away from the Spain goal. It just sort of feels as though Spain just have to be sensible and not do a huge amount. And we've said this about every game they've played, right? Where you're kind of like, they just sort of, the system chips away and chips away and chips away, and they find these moments. And
it was said before, like Argentina have had to come from behind like every single game basically. But if Spain take the lead, I think that's the game gone.
Yeah,
like they won't make the same errors. So
someone in the chat suggesting that Spain could try playing 8 centre backs.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, Dan Burn up front. Yeah,
get some more on there. How about that? I wonder if this is actually just a good time to quickly go through points of bad as it relates to this game and think it through. There's only one final game for us to predict for, of course. That's the final. We're not going to do the third place game. So Spain, Argentina. JJ, we've kind of heard what you think about the game. Not sure that we know which way you think it's going to fall, though.
Yeah, I don't know. The power of Messi could be the last time we properly watch Messi.
Yeah.
So I'll give.
But you say that, but I just feel like he's going to be at the next World Cup now. I feel like I'm sort of like programmed to expect him to be there.
Well, as we know, there's a conspiracy to allow him to do so. So
he'll be 43.
Yeah,
that's true. But
quite old.
Yeah, but let me ask you this question: how much worse is 39-year-old Messi than 36-year-old Messi?
I think he is worse.
I'm not saying he's not worse, but how much worse?
Yeah.
Because if we were then to take roughly the same again off of that for 43...
We're assuming that decline is linear here.
Yeah.
Rather than just
the big assumption that decline is linear. Yeah. Assuming decline is linear, which I've no reason to believe it isn't, John.
Yeah. I think,
is he still better than Harry Kane?
Harry Kane...
It was just more of a sort of comical...
There's reporting that he's 5% faster than he was in Qatar because of physical work he's done.
There you go.
But I think... I do think that... what was I going to say? What were we talking about?
I don't know. No one say anything. Let's just wait. Let's wait in the silence to see if John can recover his point.
Spain.
I do think that he has been less of a team player this time around. The criticisms we've had of Ronaldo have been that he's a passenger out of possession and he's not adding enough in possession to make it worthwhile. I think that's true of Messi out of possession, but I think in possession he's obviously still offering enough to be worthwhile. The question is, does the decline in possession go low enough that it then offsets the sort of not offering a huge amount out of possession?
So what you're saying is that based on the fact that Ronaldo did play for Portugal this time, despite not offering anything in or out of possession, there's a chance that Messi could at the next World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, that's a federation question, isn't it?
I love it.
I mean,
I'll call the federation straight away.
Unless Messi decides he wants to retire himself, like, who is the manager who's going to say, I'm leaving Lionel Messi out of the squad?
Messi's already retired once, hasn't he? Did he not retire?
Yeah, he retired for like 10 minutes and then came
right,
back.
but he might choose this time round.
Yeah, if he that's the only way. I don't think it's going to be a case of like...
Does it not depend on if he can have another one of his friends be the manager of Inter Miami? Have a nice time for the next 4 years,
Yeah.
and then when's the Copa America? That's not it doesn't run concurrently with the Euros, does it?
No.
The Copa America is a sort of really weird timeline. It's like sometimes it's every year, and
Yeah.
sometimes it'll be 3 years.
Sometimes it's never.
And they do like a special one every once in a while where they invite people from around the world. So I don't know when the next one is.
When's the next Copa America? Let's see.
2028.
2028. That's quite a long way, isn't it? 2 years. Oh, wait, it's only 2 years. Oh, God, that's
It'll be
horrible.
41.
41. I think he can do it. I think he can do
4-3
it.
to Argentina.
4-3 to Argentina. I hope that's true. I hope
Got to
that's
make some
true.
points up.
Actually, you weren't supposed... Oh, you were supposed to go first. Kaya, you're next because you added 3 on this game. I haven't really heard what you thought about this upcoming game, though.
I think a lot of what Argentina tried to do to England tonight, they won't be able to do. So the physicality we saw from Argentina in the early part of the game, to put it nicely, I think Spain have players who can kind of give as good as they get, which England did a bit tonight as well.
Yeah.
But Spain have players who can match that and kind of push it the other way and maybe even push Argentina over the edge if they get into a controlled game state, which would really frustrate the hell out of Argentina's players. And I also think I can't see... The thing is, Argentina, when they've been able to win games, is when they, like these guys have been saying, is when they've been attacking low blocks and teams who sit deep. I can't see Spain doing that at any stage. I can see Spain being 1-0 up in the 96th minute. They're still not going to do that. They're still going to knock it around and just play nice, simple football. So, yeah, I think Spain win 1-0.
I think that's a pretty good
I just
guess,
stumbled across
to be honest.
something on Twitter. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Opta have said that the average possession between Anthony Gordon's opener
I saw that, yeah.
and Lautaro Martinez's winner, 55th to 92nd minute, was 12%
12%
to England.
Bloody hell. I mean, that's a joke. And Thomas Tuchel was appointed to be the more attacking, progressive protagonist manager.
It's
And
not even
Gareth,
attacking. It's like having some kind of concept of what to do with the ball.
exactly.
In those moments.
Some plan. He was supposed to be the winner who could get England over the line. And
Turns out plan B was just plan A, but worse.
yeah, exactly that. Yeah, at least Southgate got us to some finals, right?
I wonder how much more possession England would have had if Enzo Fernandez had been sent off for that vicious thump on the back of Elliot Anderson's neck. I'll never forgive him.
30%.
I'll never forgive him. What a dislikable guy. Okay, so many reasons to dislike him. Kaya,
I said 1-0.
you said 1-0. I think that was a very good prediction.
Thanks, mate.
It's me next. I think I wonder if the same pattern is going to occur again. I remember in 2022 thinking, Argentina, they're a good team because they got Messi, but they just keep scraping through games. They keep coming back from being a goal down, and I just don't believe that they've got what it takes to beat France. And then they beat France because they have Messi.
Why won't you die?
So I'm gonna throw. What do you throw to the wind?
Caution.
Coins.
I'm going to throw coins to the wind, and I'm going to ask the wind if the wind can fix the game in favour of Argentina. I think Spain will go 1-0 up and then look like they're doing a terrific job of controlling the game, and then somehow Argentina will score 2 goals. I think it'll be after extra time, so I'm going to say 2-1 to Argentina. That is my prediction. John, what do you think of the game?
2-0 Spain.
You think it's 2-0 Spain?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
Do you want to talk through why?
I just think that they will control the game well enough to, chip away, get a goal, and then they'll continue playing in the same way, and Argentina will go for it, and they'll pick up a goal the other way. I don't know. It's not particularly profound, but
well, that is the last points a bad game that we have to predict for the tournament. I can tell you that as it stands, JJ, you are in last place with 249 points.
That sounds not good.
Not great. I mean, I'm in third place with 227. So
I'm not that far away.
Bit of a gap. Not too far away, just 22 points behind.
20 points off you.
Yeah, you're 22 points off me. Kaya, you did okay at trying to keep pace with John. 214 points.
Okay.
John is on 198 as it stands. But what I will say is that, do you remember at the beginning of the tournament, we all predicted our full brackets? Okay. Now, producer Ryan has been hard at work. I don't have the results today, but we will have them on final day. Producer Ryan's been hard at work working out the points that we've added, how poor, how good our bracket predictions have been. And if you recall, we did the same thing for the Premier League, where we predicted every team from 1 to 20. And whilst I was not first, I was 20 points behind, wasn't I? I overtook to be the winner of the league.
Yeah,
because I'm the genius.
Producer Ryan.
The truth of that has been brought into question, hasn't it?
Yeah.
No, I mean only by you.
I think
There's not actually
Big,
any
big
evidence.
VA Argentina energy from you on that side of the
Bit
room.
of Argentina, yeah, absolutely. There is a global conspiracy by Gianni Infantino to ensure that I win points are bad. Yeah,
Donald Trump did ring you up.
It's just good for the audience. What can I say? Anyway, so there's still the chance that order will turn. I mean, there's quite a distance off John, so it's probably John's, but we'll have to see. Now, there we go. Have I had a second advertisement break yet?
No.
Well, we're having it now. Yeah, there we go. What a great break that was. Love that one. Let's wrap things up with a little bit of my favourite game. This is my favourite game, and I'm sad that this is the penultimate instalment of it. But this game is a little old game called the Second-Hand eBay Challenge. Yeah, the second-hand. Now, what do we do in the Second-Hand eBay Challenge? Well, I have challenged JJ and John to a challenge. Every week, well, every installment, I don't know if it happens every week, every installment, there's a new category, and we give them money to spend on things that are second-hand from eBay. So we've done, what have we done? We've done 8 rounds of this so far. The scoring as it stands is 4-3 in John's favour. You could even things up today, JJ. Remember yesterday you did quite a lot of manipulating of the audience in order to win that poll.
I just wanted to set the stakes, make sure everyone took it as seriously as they should.
Now, here's the category for today. It's the luxury player category. The only rule was buy the best item you can find connected to a single footballer, and you had £150 each to spend in this instance. Okay? So I've accidentally seen what John bought because he left it in the tactics cupboard, and I went in there to take a phone call the other day. So I'm going to start with you, JJ. Is it okay to go with you first?
Well, I want to see what everyone else knows what it is apart from me.
You want to go? You want to go, John, first? All right. In which case,
I won't win.
John, I'm afraid to pick it up.
No, why don't we move the table?
I can go first.
I'll move the table. It's okay. It's okay. I'll move the table. I'm worried about breaking it though because I know it took you a long time to assemble. Can you grab that? Have you got it? Okay. Now, I wonder if you should put the table on the table.
I think that might be too high.
Too high? Let's see. I think we're going to end up picking it up anyway. Is it pick-upable?
It is pick-upable once I've taken the blanket off.
So I think we're going to end up picking it up anyway and holding it in front of the camera. But do you want to unveil this and tell us what it is and why it fits the luxury player category and how much you spent on it?
Yeah, who's the luxuriest of luxury players? We've been talking about him all evening.
Lionel Messi.
Declan Rice.
It is Lionel Messi, yeah. So I went with a Lionel Messi object.
Okay.
And Lego have actually just released a special Lionel Messi figure. And so I spent the last few days building.
Wow. There it is.
There he is. You can actually build him in different poses. There's another pose available.
Is it okay for me to pick that up and hold it in front of the camera?
Just be careful with it. It's a bit wobbly, but
Hand it to me.
there you go.
Very good.
I'm going to Kaya's camera. Oops. Wow, look at that.
Doesn't look anything like him.
And you can see the two of you behind. Can someone speak while I'm doing this?
Hi.
Hello.
Lionel Messi.
So you can see it's got his name and then the number 10 behind it.
Really cool.
There's a ball as well.
And later you can make him a spaceship.
It's true.
How much did you spend on it and how long did it take you to assemble?
I spent £85 on it.
Oh, wow.
And
So
it
you
took me-
like quite far underneath the money that you had.
But I wanted to get a Messi thing because it's, maybe his last World Cup.
Right.
And this was the best thing I could find.
Okay, great. Well, there you go. I think people in the chat seem to like that, saying not so bad, not so bad. JJ, over to you. What did you get?
Well, I really wanted to have something that was related to, like, in the Scottish Premiership, there aren't many luxury players.
No.
We've not had many. There are even fewer who have spent any time whatsoever at Aberdeen. And so what I did was spend some time on eBay trying to find something that I thought would be really nice. And I picked the coolest shirt possible in Aberdeen's history and found a signed Ian Jess shirt from the 95-97 season.
Wow, look at that shirt.
It's one of my favourite shirts ever.
Who's the name of the player?
Ian Jess.
Ian Jess.
Ian Jess is the greatest footballer I've ever seen play for Aberdeen. He was like one of the best exports from Aberdeen ever. He played in the Premier League and everything. It's called the Premiership. There we go. That's the sign thing there. You can't really see it. It's quite light font.
And was he a luxury player?
Yes, he was unbelievable.
That's a beautiful shirt.
He had a first touch. He could run with it. He could score from 30 yards. He was so good that he had to leave Aberdeen. So that's why he was luxury. Like he was he's one of those players that you just don't get to enjoy Aberdeen for very long because he's going to go somewhere else. But when he was there, I loved it. I used to love watching him. I used to go and watch him with my dad. And I just think that strip is absolutely beautiful.
I love they're sponsored by a radio station.
Yes, it is.
North Sound Radio.
I've been on that several times. North Sound Radio. It's a great radio
it's
station.
an Umbro top as well. I love the Umbro.
Man, it's just
badge.
so cool. But Ian Jess signed it. He was everyone of like my era. That was our favourite player. That is the luxury one.
How about that? Well, there's a lot of love in the chat for Ian Jess. Congratulations. Okay. There we go. I'll end the poll there. Just before we carry on, John, remind me how long it took you to build that?
I did that in an afternoon, like maybe 2.5 hours.
So it took you 2.5 hours to put that together. And how long did it take you to unpack that shirt?
Oh, a few seconds, but I had to negotiate for quite some time with the person who sold it to get it below the budget.
How much was it?
So I got it, I think, bang on 150.
Wow.
It was the only way I could actually get it because it should cost much more.
What have you got there? What's in that envelope?
I don't know. I haven't opened this bit yet. Oh, it's a certificate of authenticity.
Oh.
I mean,
a certificate of authenticity.
I mean, where's the certificate to prove that that's authentic?
There's a smaller certificate inside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then there's an even smaller one.
It's joke in basketball. It comes with a photocopied certificate of authenticity.
There you go. Okay, well, I can tell you that I ended the poll, and with 71% of the vote, JJ has pulled it even. It's 4-all. It's 4-all. Going into the final day. Stakes remain somewhere in England. Maybe not for the national football team, but for the second-hand eBay challenge. Everything lives until Sunday. So congratulations to JJ Bull. Well done. And well done to Ian Jess.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. Is there anything anyone would like to say before we finish today? Any thoughts on the referee, or just more thoughts about Enzo Fernandez, or anything? Anything you want to say?
I enjoyed the referee not really doing an awful lot to stop. Like, absolutely brutal. Like, if that was a Premier League game, there would have been about 8 yellow cards in the first 30 seconds. But, you know what?
What?
It's a physical game.
It's a physical game.
Yeah.
It is. There we go. Okay. Well, I would like to say well done to our England boys. A semi-final, only the 4th time they've reached one in the history of the World Cup. Congratulations. A lot of fantastic individual performances from those players.
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham with some fantastic goals. 2 braces there. I'm mainly saying this to pep you up, Kaya, because you seem very sad. Harry Kane, long live Harry Kane. Elliot
Tuchel.
Anderson's first big tournament.
Yeah.
Thomas Tuchel, I thought, did a good job.
Yeah.
Lovely to see Anthony Barry there at half-time making some comments. What else? Oh, do you remember Dan Byrne in Mexico that night? Come on, guys, we had Mexico. We had Mexico. We beat Mexico in Mexico City. That was one of the best games of football I've ever seen.
Still
that
really
was so
sad,
exciting.
Joe. I'm still really sad.
We'll all be sad for time.
I was in tears at the song "Angels" by Robbie Williams this morning. I don't think I'm in a fit emotional state to react rationally.
Well, through it all,
it's been ruined for you too.
Oh, well, that had been ruined by Man City a long time ago. So
there you go. Old Deckers did it all. He tried it all, didn't he? Old Deckers.
He's the only one who comes out with any credit.
He tried
At
it.
least he can have a rest now before he can't play any games.
He's not playing until December.
Yeah, I think I have to
That seems
sellotape him
fine as
together.
well, doesn't he? Great.
The joke about Declan Rice is he'll be there on August the 20th or whenever the first Premier League game is. He'll be playing. He'll play the full 90.
In like a week or something.
Yeah.
So, you know,
He's going to have to retire at 27 years old, that guy.
I think he is 27.
Okay, there we go. Well, when I end the podcast, that's really when England go out of the tournament. Bye, everyone. We'll see you on Sunday for the final live stream show. Thanks so much for joining us. And join us for the watch-along on the Athletic FC for Spain. versus a whole bunch of cheats.